Hello Milky friends, it is Milkstool here with you for another Idle Heroes video. Happy Friday. I hope you've had an amazing week during these very trying times. I know the COVID continues and the cure is nowhere in sight. So for some of us it's going to be continuously challenged, especially here if you're in Australia and you're locked down and you can't go anywhere like me. But in most parts of the world, I think the lockdown's kind of over or in sort of a half-assed mode, and you can go about doing semi-normal things, but in other parts of the world, obviously, it's far more stringent. And so we have games like this to hopefully keep us entertained as long as we still have a job. Anyway, today we're here to talk about this week's event, specifically the value tied to this week's event. So the Autumn's Blessing is what we're talking about, as well as the Puppet Package. I'm not going to talk about, obviously, the new hero, which is Tick, or Tix, because he's like a Tix in real life. I'm not good at reviewing heroes, and so I never talk about new heroes. I mean, I'll give a passing thought on the new hero, but I'll never actually do any testing. Because, as Warren Buffett says, don't invest in anything outside your sphere of competence. My sphere of competence is obviously value analysis, and I try my best to do on that. And it's not hero analysis. That's why you'll never hear about anything regarding heroes from me. We'll also talk about, I guess, the event for the coming week, which is Profit Orbs, and obviously it puts you in an interesting spot as to whether or not you participate in this week's event, because obviously if you participate in this week's event, you're going to get a couple of Profit Orbs. It's probably not going to be enough to let you do a lot of loops, but everything definitely counts, because obviously next week, why don't we just look at the Profit Orb event for next week? As expected, it was going to be a Rogan, but what's surprising, it's also Seer, because you can use Seer now in Void as the first upgradable hero. And so it's very interesting they dangle this bait in front of us, because Rogan arguably is a must-have if you're running Assassin team, and especially if Seer in Void, or you upgrade her from Void. So it's one of those weird things, and I think they're purposely dangling the carrot in front of us when they offer these two heroes, especially Rogan, knowing full well that people, if they were below their gunpowder on just doing 4 loops with Rogan. Well, firstly, people would have, if they needed Sherlock, they would have already blown their load on Sherlock last week, so they're going to not have any Profit Orbs now, or very few Profit Orbs, and they're going to be trying to basically hoard as much as they can up until Black Friday, which we'll talk about as part of this. And now, here's Rogan again to tempt people who haven't spent into spending it, or people who are saving up for Black Friday to spend it now, I think is what they're trying to do. Because, again, Rogan, Seer, very tempting. They could have just offered Rogan and we've been like, but the fact they are offering Seer as well says a lot about just how hard they are making it for people who are trying to save. And as a reminder, like, Black Friday is, like, I think the last, or towards the end of November, basically. And if you look at last year's Black Friday event, why do you need Profit Orbs? You need Profit Orb to get points, right? And the points get you different kinds of rewards. So last year, if you did 4 loops, it was 1 point per Profit Orb, basically, and a couple of branch replacements, basically. You'd spend a lot, I think like 6,000 branches to get another 60 points. It was going to get you 380 points, and 380 points would have got you all these rewards up to the Kiss of Ghost, and you would have been basically 1 value pack or 2 value packs shy of the 400 point mark, which is quite nice. And so if they repeat this structure again this year, and for all intents and purposes, they're probably going to use Orbs as the primary currency in this year's Black Friday event. I mean, they've done it for the past 2 years, if you look at this. So over the past 2 years, Profit Orbs has been the means through which you acquire points to get special items for the event. And one of the items, unfortunately, is actually a pay-to-win artifact. It might not be a very good one, like the Kiss of Ghost. It might be like a Punisher Staff of the Immortal, affectionately known as the dildo, because you're dirty. But the point is, they're going to be, I think, if they're generous again this year, and there's any reason that they will be, right? They're going to offer 1 pay-to-win artifact free. It's probably not going to be the best one. It's probably going to be Antlers, Dildo, or Cog. But if they do, it's still pay-to-win, and it's still ultimately attainable if you have the right amount of orbs. So next week, it's challenging. They're tempting you to spend, because if you if you spend your orbs next week, then you have, what, a month and a half max to get another 320 orbs. And if you don't get that, you're going to have to buy it at the event. Right now, I have 200 orbs, I think. Yeah, 204 orbs. And if I don't spend it, I'll probably have 320 by Black Friday. If I spend it now, I'm going to need to buy a lot of packs on Black Friday. And I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you spend it now so you can, unfortunately, have to buy like a lot of packs if you want the goodies to come out that come with getting Prophet Orbs and getting the points associated with using the Prophet Orbs. The heroic summons for next week is Tara, and my feelings on Tara are very well known to the people that watch my channel. Tara's out of the meta. He is useless. I don't care what anyone says. He was junk from the moment he was introduced. And people that say, oh, well, you need 2-3 Taras. I've got 2 Taras. He doesn't win shit. And the fact that they're offering him as a heroic miracle and not say an Ada who's still mildly useful, especially for Aspen Dungeon, says a lot about the value of that hero, right? These guys aren't in the business of giving good heroes away easily, and Tara is not a good hero right now. So that's just food. So that's the event for next week, but we're here to really talk about the event this week and specifically the value associated with these autumn blessings and whether or not you should buy the puppet package. But the two real questions you guys probably have are, do I buy this middle one for 3,000 gems or do I buy the puppet pack? Because the first one for gold, I'm assuming you're all gonna get that because it's gold, right? And gold is replenishable, and the rewards are decent enough that you're all probably gonna just spend the 30 mil without thinking too much about it. So really, like I said, we're going to talk about the middle sack and the last sack. So the middle sack, and these are the daily rewards you get, right? So just keep in mind that when you do, how much gems of stuff do I get in return? You don't calculate, just 2 scrolls, 5,000 pink dust, and 10, 1 basic skin. This is 10 shards. This is just 1 basic skin. It's 7 basic skins, 35,000 pink dust, and 2 times 7, 14 scrolls, right? That's what you're calculating. So we go look at the math, right? So the diamond sacks, or the sack that costs diamonds, here's what you're getting on a per day basis, which I've just talked through. Here's what you're getting over the course of the event. So you have to multiply everything by 7. Here's how much each of these items are worth in terms of gems. So a basic skin is worth about 375 gems. Pink dust is 0.12 gem per dust, and that value comes from how much it costs to buy pink dust at Adventure Island, which is cheaper than the marketplace. So that's the key thing to note. I've used a conversion from Adventure Island because the merchant comes around enough that you can get pink dust from him, as opposed to the marketplace cost, which is here. And from memory, I think this is just higher than what you can get it for. Not that I'm doing the wrong thing. That's promotion stone. I think this is much higher than what you can get it for with the merchant in Adventure Island. So this 5,000 for 10, 1,500 for 10,000. What is that actually? So if we do 1,500 divided by 10,000, I think it's 0.15. Yeah, so it ends up being 0.15 as opposed to 0.12 gems per dust on the merchant in Celestial Island. And you might be like, well, Melk, so what the fuck are we talking about? It's only 0.03 of a gem difference. Guys, 0.03, just to be clear, divided by 0.12 is 25%. You're paying 25% more gems when you buy it from the market than compared to the merchant on Celestial Island. That's the so what, right? Anyway, the total gem value in terms of what you get with that middle sack, over the course of 7 days, it's 8,575 gems, and you pay 3,000 gems up front. So the net profit, the net benefit is obviously 5,575 gems. You're getting a return of 5,500 gems for investing 3,000. That is an outstanding investment, especially if you value pink dust and scrolls, right? But if you're the kind of player that sort of says, well, pink dust, I get it from the mines on Celestial Island, and the skins I don't really care for, then don't buy it, because the only thing you value there is this scrolls, and the scrolls, you're not going to pay 3,000 gems to get 1,750 gems worth of scrolls. That's just not going to happen. This middle sack, where are we going? This middle sack is only worth it if either you value the pink dust, and or the skin. If you don't value any of either of those things, don't buy it. But if you only value even if you just value the skins, and let's say you ignore the pink dust, and you're crazy if you are, let's say you just value the skins and you value the scrolls, then that in itself is already valuable, right? That together is worth about 4,325 gems, and you're putting in 3,000 gems to get that out. Obviously, it's worth a lot more if you value all those things together, like I do. So that for me was a no-brainer. Now we talk about the puppet package, because the puppet package unlocks the last sack. So you can't get this last sack of goodies unless you buy the puppet package. And the puppet package, interestingly enough, is not $100 one. I think with this game, I think what they've done is they've lowered the price points on a lot of these special packs, because previously, like for example, last week, Imps Monopoly, I think that pack is usually 5,000, no, not 5,000, $50, right? And you get a lot more dice and you get a lot more gems as well, and a lot more, I think it was scrolls, or was it profit orbs? One or the other, right? But last week they made it $20, and they cut the number of gems, and they cut the number of scrolls, and they cut the number of dice that you get with that, right? With the puppet package, similarly, they've done the same thing. This used to be a 9-star puppet with 5,000 gems, and I think a lot of scrolls. If we look at the data, what does it say? The last 2 times that puppet pack has been offered, what did you get? You got puppet package, here we go. 5,000 gems, 120 scrolls, and 1 9-star puppet. And that was obviously for $100. But I think what they've realized is, if they make, no one's really buying that pack except for whales. I think they've probably started work. The guys that priced this have probably worked out it's better to offer lower priced packs, because more people will buy it, right? And if more people buy it, then the overall revenue will be higher, as opposed to, like, say, one person being able to afford the old puppet pack for $100. Now if I make it $20, maybe, like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 people buy it, and that gets me like just, you know, $140, $180. And I'm simplifying the example here. I'm assuming, you know, only one person buys the 9-star puppet pack. That's not true. But in a simplified example, the assumption is way more people buy this at $20 than the number of people that buy the original puppet pack, the 9-star puppet pack, at $100. Anyway, it's $20. What do you get? You get 1,500 gems straight up, 30 scrolls straight up, and 6-star puppet selection chest straight up, straight off the bat, $20. On top of that, what takes us really over the hill in terms of value is the additional daily rewards that you get from the sack. The 1 5-star hero, 666 gems, and 3 scrolls. So then you're like, okay, Melkstool, just tell me what I get overall. Should I buy the pack? The answer is yes, you should buy the pack, is the short answer. But here's the value. So here's what we get. On a daily basis, 1 5-star shard, 666 gems, 3 scrolls, or overall, throughout the 7 days, 7 5-star heroes, about 4,600 gems, and 21 scrolls. On top of that, you are getting 1 6-star puppet now, 1,500 gems, and 30 scrolls. So in aggregate, you're getting about 17,700 gems worth of value for the $20 that you pay. And when you do it on how much gem do I get per basis, it's 887 gems per dollar spent. And that is far in excess of the average value that we typically expect from these value packs of 350 gems per dollar spent, which is from the spreadsheet, see, the 354. So that's like more than 2 times the normal value that we get from value packs. And so for that reason alone, you should definitely buy. And a lot of you who follow, like, understand my spreadsheet and have studied it probably are familiar with the fact that this monthly privilege card gives you 800 gems per dollar spent. And that is the best value thing you can buy consistently. So the fact that this is over, right? This is better value. Is what I'm saying is the puppet pack for this week is better value than the monthly card, and nearly everyone buys the monthly card. So if you are deeply value conscious and you just buy monthly packs, this is that 1 month where you have to make the exception and just buy this puppet pack, right? Because it's just better than the monthly VIP card. I would argue you would buy. So if you haven't bought your monthly VIP card for this month, I would argue you should buy the puppet pack over the VIP monthly card, if that makes sense. So that's the value analysis for this week. That's really all there is to say. Like I said, I'm not going to do a review of Tick because it's outside of my sphere of confidence, and like everyone else, I am eagerly awaiting the feedback from Barry, from GDP in particular, just to see how he performs. He looks kind of sexy, very kind of cartoony. Obviously a mage, and he's got very good attack. He's not another support hero, but yeah, eagerly awaiting to see the YouTube results. Guys, have a great weekend ahead, and thank you very much, always, as always, for watching.